I got to give the Vancouver Canucks a lot of credit. They are working quite quickly here. The first trade that they did, I was critical of. I gave them a break on it because I was just saying, hey, listen, they had to move on from JT Miller. It's just the most logical decision. They obviously weren't going to move Elias Pettersson, so whatever. It's not a big deal, right? Like, I can deal with them kind of losing that trade. I know a lot of fans are going to disagree with me on that, but if you're in this much of a situation with the drama in your team, you kind of just have to do what you have to do. The second trade that they did, which is a decent trade too, was they acquired Marcus Pettersson. And the whole time I was like, I was kind of an advocate for them keeping that first round pick. Although the information coming out now was that we knew that they were going to trade that right away. Essentially that first round pick just got immediately dealt. And my philosophy in that, it's funny, I actually said the exact same thing, because there were rumors that they wanted to keep Marcus Pettersson, which is a good thing, by the way. If you're going to give away a premier asset, I think it was a little bit risky to get rid of a premier asset like a mid-first round pick for a player that you didn't know for sure was going to stick around. The one thing, though, is maybe the Canucks knew how much Marcus Pettersson wanted to begin with, and they were just naturally going to be willing to give it to him. So now we know that Marcus Pettersson has re-signed. That is excellent news. I love this because they gave up first round pick. Now, my official opinion on this, that I think that trade was a win for Vancouver because they got to keep the asset. Marcus Pettersson is actually really, really good. This is a player that is in his late 20s. It was a 6-year deal at 5.5. And on top of a lot of these things, you have to look at it this way. That takes him to 34 years old. A lot of players can remain very competitive into their mid-30s. He plays 22 minutes a night. For Pittsburgh, he was playing 22 minutes a night. Like, this is a true solidified top 4 defenseman in terms of how many minutes he does play. And $5.5 million, and let's remember, guys, the cap is going up the next 3 seasons, at least 3, more than 3 seasons. However, we don't know how much it's going to be going up after those seasons, but it's going up in the next 3 seasons over $100 million. So this in the next 3 years is going to be a good contract. So I absolutely love that second deal for the Canucks now because they got to keep a true top 4 defender. I know I'm rambling a little bit about the Marcus Pettersson contract, so forgive me, but if you look at the data of how likely it is to find a solidified top 4 defenseman middle round, it happens, but it's more unlikely. So if you get to a 100% guaranteed with, then absolutely just do it. And there's even more good news that's newer news today that I was looking up, that it actually looks like they're going to re-sign the other player they got in that deal too. Drew O'Connor is a player that does have a decent amount of size, and I'm not sure about his offensive consistency, so I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to love this contract. However, if it is for a reasonable deal, they traded a first-round pick and they get to keep both the players, then that's perfectly fine with me. Although I'm gonna withhold my opinion because I don't know the contract that O'Connor is going to get. Because while I do like the player, you have to take into context that this isn't an elite offensive producer. So I'm going to hold my breath with this one a little bit by saying, what exactly are they going to get him? And also there was more rumors that Vancouver Canucks were able to outmaneuver a couple of teams. Actually, the Edmonton Oilers really wanted Drew O'Connor, and also the Vegas Golden Knights. So in my grading system, I rated that contract more of a C. I'm willing to rate it a B+ now for the Canucks, that trade with Pettersson. So now we do have more news coming out with the Vancouver Canucks that Quinn Hughes is going to miss his 3rd straight game. I don't know about this one. When it comes to the Four Nations face-offs, first off, I don't want players to get injured for this. It's just like a new tournament that they're putting together as kind of a warm-up for the Olympics. I understand people want players to go, and they say, well, every tournament is generally made up, which is true. But you have to look at it in more context at the Stanley Cup finals or the Olympics. These have been around for a long time, whereas the Four Nations face-off. Nobody really cares about it. I mean, even though it is good to see best on best. So obviously it's going to be complex seeing what happens with Quinn Hughes especially. And the Vancouver coach did say that it depends on the next 48 hours. Listen, I want you guys to drop this. This is the question of the video. So first off, what is your opinion on the trades? And then second off, what do you think that he will do with Quinn Hughes? And do you even want Quinn Hughes going to the Four Nations face-off? Like, listen, everybody wants to see best on best tournament, but I really want to see a best on best tournament for the Olympics. The Olympics are where it really, really, really matters. Four Nations face-off is just kind of like a made-up tournament that nobody really cares about, and you're seeing it from the players as well. I don't know. Listen, if for me, it's always team first. That's my logic with this stuff. It's always going to be team first. It's always going to be like, if I had a star that was injured and having a terrible season, it was clearly laboring, I would obviously want them to just sit it out, right? It sounds to me like the Vancouver Canucks. My prediction when it comes to Hughes, I think that that he's ultimately going to miss the Four Nations phase. That's my prediction. Maybe he'll end up going, but I think that there's a lot of players that are just going to be opting out because, it's not the Olympics. So I know it's a little bit silly, but it's just nobody. I'm going to be covering it. I'm definitely very, very interested in it. I love seeing best on best. I'm really interested to see who's going to win it. I think that Canada made a bit of a mistake with their goaltending. I think Logan Thompson should be there, in my opinion. I don't want to get too. This is a Vancouver Canucks video, but I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying. Also, drop your opinions below on the Four Nations face-off. What do you guys think about that? Are you excited for it? Do you not really care? Whatever. Anyways. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I really do appreciate that last one especially. And have a great day, guys. Goodbye.